Let's give a warm welcome to architect Om Merchant, a seasoned architect with 25 years of experience, specializes in designing cost-efficient, innovative interiors and buildings. His expertise include experimenting with alternative materials and cutting-edge technologies. Actively promoting 3D precast technology in India, Om is currently constructing the country's first custom-designed 3D monolithic precast building in Mumbai. He advocates for precast technologies in public amenities and has garnered accolades for his commitment to delivering delightful solutions. Mr. Merchant will be presenting a submission on manufacturing buildings. So let's welcome Mr. Merchant.
Okay, so I think we have heard a lot from the previous panelists about sustainability. So I will just try and run that bit. Okay, so basically we need to have this attitude. I mean, this is something that needs to be inbred in all architects, especially, right? That you have to, talk about the future generations, right? And not be greedy about, resources. This is something which is known by everybody, but the realization is very, very important, right? This is a nice bit of video which is made by Tata Power. I think everybody should see. It's a nice, it's a viral video right now, and it's very, striking, and it's creating awareness amongst all kind of people about what sustainability is all about. Yeah, so as Shruti also talked about, these are the parts of sustainable construction, waste reduction, energy efficiencies, sustainable materials, water conservation, thought about ecology, making economical, projects, and also talk about community and social responsibility as to how people and communities can thrive around buildings. I'll just quickly go through this. I think we've spoken about this at length. Also, awareness about who are the stakeholders, right? I mean, right from the clients, the investors, the contractors, all the consultants, including architects, are definitely part of our project. But also the communities living around in the vicinity are very important. The staff who is working in the office post construction is also very important, and environment from point of view of flora fauna is also critical. So we need to understand their requirements also, and work in a very holistic kind of way, so that we make designs suitable for every part and every stage of the project. We'll come to manufacturing. What is manufacturing? As you see, the images shown over here show a typical assembly line wherein cars are getting manufactured, right? It's a environment which is very neat, clean, like a hospital, very sterile, right? Properly marked, disciplined, organized environment, right? So what happens is that in such an environment, waste is something that you don't have. You have accountability about the material. There is quality control possible at every stage, right? There is space optimization, which is very critical, right? And there is a lot of testing, etc., which can happen well, right? So basically, such an environment, if you start making buildings here, right? Just imagine the kind of sustainable processes you basically add into the process, right? As compared to the conventional buildings. What is manufacturing? We all know manufacturing. We all been studying in our schools, etc., that you have raw materials and you kind of process it. You kind of kind of convert that into your goods, etc., etc. Just to kind of refresh people about what manufacturing is, right? There is a lot of planning required, right? There is a lot of standardization required, right? And there is a lot of focus on quality. Yeah, we'll kind of slow down here, right? The process of manufacturing, right? This is basically a set of risks of various processes, not necessarily sequential, but part of process where manufacturing is happening, right? So design is where you look at making modules or making it modular and creating flexibility as far as planning is concerned. right? You integrate services, you talk about the engineering, the structural strength of the product. You talk about drawings, which basically are for either constructing or for authorities approvals, prototyping, like making models, etc. All these become part of the design process, right? When you talk about materials, we talk about selection of materials. How do you source the materials? How do you process the materials? How you store it? And eventually how you kind of sort it so that it can be accessed when you need it. Talking about production is basically how do you prepare for kind of putting everything together. How do you basically kind of assign all your sorted parts so that they are at the required location whenever you need it, right? How do you kind of protect the particular product? How do you kind of integrate with various other things, and how do you finish it? Quality control talks about testing at various stages, right from the raw materials, then within the process, how do you test it to see if everything is going on smoothly? How do you kind of test it once it is kind of made, right, without kind of damaging the product, right? How do you test it for long term reliability as far as degradation is concerned and the climate is concerned? And how do you test it for long term life of the particular product? And when you talk about assembly, it's all about how to put them together. If it's a building, how do you put all the parts together up, right? How do you connect the services? How do you kind of fit all the elements which are maybe decorative, maybe environmental, maybe climatic, right? How do you seal and finish the building? And then, eventually the inspection, which needs to kind of test out the entire quality of the building. The difference between the manufacturing paradigm of constructing buildings with a conventional kind of construction is that manufacturing talks about a large scale mass construction kind of situation, right? It is definitely not a custom made, tailor made kind of situation, but it's something which has to be can be used for a large scale, right? Conventional buildings are as such tailor made for one particular purpose. So also the parts are basically assembled on site, and in buildings it actually creates the entire architecture there, right? There is a lot of meticulous design and prototyping which happens as far as the manufacturing is concerned, right? But in the conventional systems, we see that it's a very simple design and a very tailor-made engineering that is required for that particular kind of thing. Not that the conventional construction is a bad way to go about building buildings. There are certain buildings will definitely benefit out of this system as well. Things like standardization is very important as far as manufacturing is concerned, right? And all this work, as far as manufacturing is concerned, it happens in a controlled environment. There is a space for everything. Everything is demarcated, right? And it basically is, the environment is controlled, compared to the conventional construction, wherein the workers are basically exposed to the elements, and errors might come out depending upon the condition of the weather at that particular point of time. Also, the workers are trained when you talk about manufacturing, because each set is given a part of the particular process. So they will continue doing that part only, right? And whereas in conventional construction, right, it's the unskilled labor it's very difficult to get quality out of it, right? Because basically they are unskilled and unorganized. Our manifesto as architects is that we don't, it's our job to serve our clients and fulfill their needs and desires, but it's our prerogative to think about the larger good and act for the well-being of the environmental processes from the atomic level to the global climates. That's basically the attitude with which we work. Just going through the projects that we have created, we talk about villas, wherein a situation in Bangalore, wherein there are fixed size of plots, and Vastu is very prevalent over there. So basically, people there are different plans made for different directions and different orientation of plots, and that's what we created for a place like Bangalore, right? Various plans and costs, etc. For various size of building, various type of buildings with various orientations. I think I'll just run through this. This is basically talking about toilets, which were designed for the country. All the possible uses are taken into consideration and kind of modulated, so which we can kind of assemble it the way we want, right? Including services, water tanks, even climatic modules are kind of made, and then basically we kind of integrate them into various formats, small toilets, big toilets, and community toilets, etc., etc., etc. This is one very interesting competition that we participated in. We won. This was organized by Ultratech Cement, where we're talking about an alternative type of living, wherein the land and the house basically are differentiated as two different kind of aspects, and how the cost of the land does not affect the cost of the house, and and how we can live. So basically, it's more like your the caravan or the camper van kind of lifestyle, which is very prevalent in the US. So basically, we talk about land and we talk about building as infrastructure, and we talk about dwelling as a third component. So manufactured, fabricated houses, which basically can be plugged in into various kind of configurations: 1 BHK, 2 BHK, 3 BHK, etc. And how basically people can be living in this kind of infrastructures where the modules basically reach their destination. This is one project that we are doing. Basically, this is made up of RCC, a technology called 3D monolithic precast, which is again a manufactured kind of situation. You kind of put in the cage, pour concrete, and within 12 hours you can remove the particular module. Just a couple of small videos about what it is. You basically know the size. You finalize the size of the module. Then basically you have weather elements, climatic elements, building designed using the principles of passive design. We know what is the orientation of the building. So we kind of design it such that the exposure is more towards the east and the north, and blank on the overhangs on the west side. So this is the way the buildings are put together. You make the plinth, you kind of create the cast in situ parts of the building, and we start placing the modules in place, right? All the modules are in place. Then we put the the elevational or the other aspects of the building as such, and we kind of create this ground plus 2 structure. This is how it is. So you can see the site is very clean, right? There is no wastage, as you can see. The buildings are made in the mold and put on site. And this is how we envisage the building to be once it's constructed. So basically, passive design from point of view of daylight, exposure, and cross ventilation. All these things have been considered within the design of this particular building. This is the east facade.
Thank you, Mr. Merchant, for apprising our viewers with your inspiring submission on manufacturing building.